Alright folks, you all know we're up on the tops, Monday 13th February 2023. Glorious, isn't it? Right, they carry on, they got rid of the cattle, apparently they destroyed it. They're now trying to get rid of the Brumbys, apparently they do that too. We're here at a sign, Ruined Castle, Falls Creek Resort Management. Now down the bottom you can see what it says there. Considering they're saying that approximately 1 million years ago an uplift of the area took place forming the Bogong High Plains, then followed denudation and erosion, Ruined Castle is one of the few remaining examples of columnar jointed basalt in the area. Now for one, that's a bit of bullshit. There's another one over the other side of Rocky Valley Dam as you're on your way to Wallace's. They blew it up. They turned it into a quarry. They probably used some of the rock for road base. They probably used some of the rock in the building of Rocky Valley Dam. There's a few others around, but I suppose this one here is probably the most obvious and easiest to get to. The other point I want to make is it clearly states on that sign that about 1 million years ago there was an uplift that pushed it up and then started a period of denudation due to erosion. We've discussed erosion before. We're right up on the tops. We're exposed to all the elements. Blaring sun in summer, snow in winter, pelting down rain, extreme winds because it funnels up all of the valleys, which accelerates it on its way up, crashes over the top, causes erosion. Pardon me. Erosion that's occurred, by their own admissions, over 1 million years. Now, if I remember correctly, Europeans arrived in this country of ours to set up shop, communities, a new life in 1788. Now, that's approximately 250 years ago, give or take, right? They didn't bring livestock down here straight away, just a little bit more of the native insect life up here sitting on top of some lovely daisies as we walk through all of this basalt out to Ruined Castle. When you think the amount of time that Europeans have been up here with their cattle, sheep, horses, bushwalking, skiing, horse riding, mountain bike riding, all of the rest of it, 250 years of colonisation and maybe 170 to 180 years of us actually being up here, it's a drop in the ocean compared to the 1 million years that that sign talks about of natural environmental conditions causing the erosion that's exposed that. Now you can see, and we'll get closer, there's lots of beautiful vegetation occurring in it. You can see what humans have done, you know, they've moved some of these around, they've stacked up little cans, because that's just what humans do. They then take photos of it and it all looks lovely. Have a look at that. Isn't that glorious? Ferns. Down here we've got some beautiful purple coming through. More ferns all the way up through the rocks. And then if you actually go up there into the columns, nestled on little shelves, where some dirt and dust that have either washed down from the top or been blown up there by some winds have settled, we've got some lovely little colonies of daisies that are persisting on the ledges. It's just phenomenal, isn't it? But they'd have you believe that cattle and Brumbys are causing the issue, creating erosion, causing extinction, and in such a fragile area, one of the few remaining examples of that columnar structure in existence, we can't build that. And it's a ski tow. It goes all the way down to the bottom of the hill, and look where we end up. We end up back down on the denuded, vegetation devoid flats of Rocky Valley Dam. Why is it denuded and vegetative devoid? Because mankind built a dam and flooded it, and this vegetation that you're seeing here and over on the mountains behind can't grow underwater. So then you'll see the next chairlift line coming up the hill, making it up there to the top and continuing over. We'll come back down here and we'll zoom in on this down here. This is one of their works yards. They keep all of their snow grooming equipment in there. Now apparently horses are large, heavy hooved animals weighing between 600 and 800 kilograms, and they squash frogs and they squash lizards and they destroy the habitat of the creatures that might live underneath it, like smoky mice and broadtooth rats and skinks and what have you. And what the hell do you think a 20-ton piece of kit driving up and down that hill, grooming snow for people's enjoyment and leisure and pleasure, is going to do to that same habitat? Now, was that a naturally devoid of vegetation hill that just had some grasses that settle nicely under the snows to create a ski run? No, of course it wasn't. Have a look at everything around it. It's heaths. There's some snow gum in amongst it. There's some grasses and flowers. We've created that. We've made it clearer. We've denuded it ourselves so as it's easier to maintain and groom. Right? We do all of that and it's okay. The horses walk around in all of that out there, and apparently everywhere they step, they're creating destruction. It is farcical, people. It's a joke. I can't believe so many gullible people have been conned. Yet again down here, and I do this all the time, you'll see it's brown. And at the moment it's brown because the moisture's disappeared and we're fully exposed to the sun. But guess what, people? That is moss. That is moss in a dormant state. When it rains again, the little seep that this is, and you can see some down there that are still holding on. The seep that this is, that's created by rainfall coming off that structure there, gets into the dirts that are still holding on and supports mosses amongst everything else that exists up here. It really blows my mind that politicians are so gullible, that politicians can see this. They can see this in my videos. They can come up with me. I've invited them that many times. It's getting to the point of ludicrous. What are they scared of? I really want to know that. They're elected to represent the Australian people, not the greenies on their own, not the invasive species people on their own. They're elected to represent the Australian people. The evidence is here. It's all around. It's in your face, but they choose to ignore it and follow a driven agenda of a small minority that love to include words like may and might in their scientific papers. Not will and do. They use words like may and might. I may win Tats Lotto. Millions of Australians have said that, and they buy a ticket every week in the hope that they will. Many, many, many of them will depart this world having never ever won the major prize. There is a big difference, people, between may and might and will. Does. You be the judge.